Chinedu slammed the front door open as his phone kept ringing non-stop in his pocket. His wife's voice was already shaking from the other side of the line. In the background, his daughter was crying loudly, calling his name repeatedly. He froze for a second, holding a thick bundle of cash in his hand, unable to move. All he could think about was how many extra shifts it took to gather it. His wife shouted through the phone, "Chinedu, our daughter collapsed at school." He dropped the cash on the floor instantly, his heart racing like never before. He yelled for a taxi, rushing out barefoot without even locking the door. He kept whispering to himself that all his sacrifices were finally going to make sense. But as the taxi sped through the busy Lagos road, panic tightened his chest. He remembered how he refused every family outing just to save transport money. His daughter's last words echoed in his mind, asking when he would come home early. At the hospital entrance, nurses rushed toward a small girl lying unconscious on a stretcher. He shouted, pushing through the crowd, calling her name over and over again. But when he saw her face, pale and still, his legs weakened instantly. The doctor looked at him and said, "We need immediate surgery, or she won't survive." He stood frozen, realizing the money he saved might not be enough anymore. Before anything else, if this story is touching your heart, subscribe, like, and comment "Wake Up," because this is not just a story, it's a warning. He rushed to the payment desk, pulling out his savings card with shaking hands. But the hospital administrator shook her head slowly. "Sir, the deposit required is higher than what you currently have." He felt his world collapse, as memories of missed birthdays flooded his mind. The daughter's small voice from months ago echoed, "Daddy, will you stay this time?" He had said, "I will try," but he never did. Inside the emergency room, doctors fought to revive her, as machines beeped loudly. He pressed his forehead against the glass, whispering prayers he had ignored for years. The monitor flatlined for a moment, and the room went silent. Then suddenly, the doctor shouted, "We're losing her!" He broke down completely, realizing no amount of saved money could fix this moment. The surgery continued, but his heart already knew the truth was heavier than any bill. Hours later, the doctor came out slowly, removing his gloves with tired eyes. He asked one question, and the answer shattered him completely. "We did everything we could, but we were too late." He fell to the ground, clutching the same savings he once worshipped. He sat alone outside the hospital as the night wind passed, staring at the silent road. He finally understood that saving money without saving time with loved ones was a hidden loss. He remembered every moment he ignored his daughter's laughter because of overtime shifts. Each memory felt like a wound that money could no longer heal. He opened his wallet again, staring at the remaining bills, realizing they had no emotional value left. People walked past him, unaware that his wealth had turned into regret. He whispered to himself that if he could turn back time, he would trade every coin just to hear his daughter call him once more. He closed his eyes as tears rolled down, realizing money had never been the enemy, but his obsession with it was. A nearby nurse noticed him sitting outside and quietly placed a bottle of water beside him, without saying a word. He did not respond, only staring at the sky, as if searching for answers that no longer existed. Inside his mind, he replayed the countless nights he came home late, telling himself it was all for their future, while his daughter quietly stopped waiting for him at the door. He realized that every "not now" he had said had slowly built a wall between him and the people he loved most. The hospital lights flickered as night deepened, mirroring the instability in his heart and the broken rhythm of his thoughts. He remembered how his daughter used to run into his arms, and how he once promised never to let work take that away. But over time, promises faded, replaced by bills, deadlines, and endless pursuit of what he thought was stability. He sat there, realizing that stability without presence is just another form of emptiness. The night grew colder, and so did the silence around him, as he waited for news that felt like a lifetime away. He no longer cared about the money in his account. All that mattered was a heartbeat from the person he almost lost forever. A few hours later, the doctor returned, and the expression on his face told a story before he even spoke. He stood up slowly, knowing that whatever came next would change him forever. The doctor sighed deeply and said, "She's stable now, but she asked for you repeatedly while unconscious." Those words broke something inside him that no amount of money could ever repair. He walked into the room slowly, seeing his daughter awake and looking at him with tired eyes. She whispered softly, "Daddy, you came." He knelt beside her bed, holding her hand tightly, finally realizing what mattered most had almost slipped away. He cried silently, promising himself that no amount of money would ever come before his family again. Outside the hospital window, dawn slowly broke, symbolizing a new beginning he had to earn the right way. The money he once worshipped now sat forgotten in his pocket. Finally, as he sat beside his daughter holding her hand, he understood that life was never about how much you save, but how deeply you live. So if this story touched you, subscribe for more emotional stories. Like this video to support the channel. And comment, "I choose time over money," to remind yourself that people matter more than possessions, every single day moving forward. Because in the end, no bank balance can replace a missed moment with someone you love deeply, ever again in life moving forward.